Let's play the level 1 to 12 to have some first impressions on Prince of Persia Escape, an arcade game published by Ketchapp. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel Gameplay 365 and to turn on the bell. So Prince of Persia Escape is the official mobile game based on the old classic game Prince of Persia. It's developed by Ketchapp, which is a company of Ubisoft, the holder of all rights over the Prince of Persia series. Let me remind you that Prince of Persia is a fantasy cinematic platformer designed and implemented by Jordan Mechner for the Apple II and published by Broderbund in October 1989. The original Prince of Persia takes place in medieval Persia. Players control an unnamed protagonist who must venture through a series of dungeons to defeat the Grand Vizier Jafar and save an imprisoned princess. But in Prince of Persia Escape, well, we don't have such a story. We see no Grand Vizier and no princess. It's just about guiding an unnamed man to escape from dungeons. In the original Prince of Persia, the main objective of the player is to lead the unnamed protagonist out of dungeons and into a tower before time runs out. This can not be done without bypassing traps and fighting hostile swordsmen, and the original game consists of 12 levels on PC. Here in Prince of Persia Escape, we see traps like spikes, but no swordsmen. And in the original Prince of Persia, the player has a health indicator that consists of a series of small red triangles. The player starts with 3 each time the protagonist is damaged, cut by sword, fallen from 2 floors of height, or hit by a falling rock. The player loses one of these indicators. In Prince of Persia Escape, there is no health indicator when your character falls on spikes or from a too high floor, he dies, period. So in the original Prince of Persia, there are small jars containing potions of several colors and sizes. The red potions scattered throughout the game restore 1 health indicator. The blue potions are poisonous and they take 1 life indicator as damage. There are also large jars of red potion that increase the maximum number of health indicators by 1, and large jars of green potion that grants a temporarily ability to hover. So if the player's health is reduced to 0, the protagonist dies. In Prince of Persia Escape, there is only 1 type of jar and it will allow you to revive, so as to resume your journey in the dungeon near where you died. In the original Prince of Persia, the player must bypass 3 types of traps: spike traps, deep pits, being 3 or more levels deep, and guillotines. Getting caught or falling into each results in an instant death of the protagonist. In addition, there are gates that can be raised for a short period of time by having the protagonist stand on an activation trigger. So the player must pass through the gates while they are open, avoiding locking triggers. Sometimes there are various traps between an unlocked trigger and a gate. In Prince of Persia Escape, we do have spike traps, we have deep pits too. However, we don't have guillotines. Instead, we have a kind of a gate closing and opening continuously. Well, it's a pity we don't have a hostile swordsman anymore in Prince of Persia Escape. It removes a bit of the charm we had in the original game. So, in the classic Prince of Persia, the player has to face Jafar and his squads in several stages. The player obtains a sword in the first stage, which they can use to fight these opponents. The protagonist's sword maneuvers are as follows: advance, back off, slash, parry, or combine parry and slash attack. And enemy swordsmen also have a health indicator similar to that of the protagonist. Killing them involves slashing them until their health indicator is depleted, or by pushing them into traps while fighting. But there is nothing such in Prince of Persia Escape, which is reduced to a simple auto-runner game, only a bit different than Super Mario Run or Temple Run 2, without the good graphics. And that's the problem. Prince of Persia Escape doesn't have outstanding graphics. Visuals are far from being ugly, of course, but they won't make your jaw drop. The player can customize the protagonist with outfits from past games by paying with red gems that he collects throughout different runs. And that's good compared to the original game, which didn't propose any customization. But it's only a cosmetic add-on which changes nothing to the pleasure of playing the game. So I am playing with the classic mode. In this mode, it's not the auto runner version. You can stop your protagonist whenever you want to. You can make him stop by not tapping the right arrow. You can move whenever you want to with the left and then right arrow that you see next to the jump button. But I find that the interface is a bit too high. It could be a bit lower, actually. So sometimes you need to hold, not only just tap on jump. When there's a big gap between two columns, for instance, two platforms, you need to hold the jump button quite long so as to make a very long jump. So as you can see, we can unlock randomly a new pant or a new shirt by paying with the red rubies. And you can also watch ads to reduce the number of required rubies. So of course, ads is a revenue model like in all free games, but I play this game without any Wi-Fi connection because I tried to play it with an internet connection on and there were so many ads. That's why I had to switch the Wi-Fi or mobile data off, because otherwise I would have been overwhelmed with ads. So players will be disappointed not to hear the original theme song in this modern mobile version, I guess. So the original song was really enchanting in the classic Prince of Persia, and I found it would have been a big bonus if it was added to this modern mobile version. I was hoping to find retro visuals, music and sound effects that might have instilled the Prince of Persia Escape game with nostalgia. What players get instead is a lifeless modern revamp of a classic without any personality or good graphics. All levels can be cleared relatively easily. The game difficulty is not very high. So controls are very simple for the auto-runner version of the game. Because you only need to tap when needed and you choose the version of controls in the settings. But when you choose the classic control system, well, it's much less smooth, I would say. We feel that it's tricky to get a precise control of our character with the classic control interface. Oh no. Yep. So in this level, you can clearly see that with the classic control system, it is much easier to pass than if you were playing with the auto run, because you have much better controls, much precise. Actually, with the auto runner version, well, I would say that it's that the game difficulty is a bit higher because you don't have any possibility to control. The character will keep running all the time. Yeah, it was a bit awkward to jump up there. That's why when I'm saying that the controls are not always perfect with the classic version. Well, it's too bad we don't have any music here. Only a kind of ambient background. But would love to have some main theme song here. So all levels can be cleared relatively easily until this level 13. So on iOS, because I'm testing the game on the iPhone 11, there's apparently a big bug right from the start of this level. You just saw it. No matter what you do, you won't be able to progress and will be trapped by the spikes at the start. Once you have reached approximately 13% of the level, I'm going to try again, you will see. No matter what you do, yep, even if you don't touch the spikes, you die. Your protagonist can't live. So overall, the game experience was not so fun and addictive because of the bug. This bug, making the game unplayable from level 13 on iOS. I don't recommend you try this game, which had potentials to be a nice revamp of the classic Prince of Persia, but which ended up being a cheap mockery. Well, I hope you enjoy watching me have some first impressions on Prince of Persia Escape, an arcade game published by Ketchapp. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Gameplay 365 to stay tuned for new videos of arcade games. Thank you a lot for your support, and see you soon on Gameplay 365. Bye-bye.